Hi, this is Damien and this is my MBA journey at the Melbourne Business School. And this video that I'm about to do is a data analysis hints and tips. I've just completed week 3 with my fellow student cohorts here at Melbourne Business School, and going to a couple of the classes and also talking with some other people, we've been able to pick up some hints and tips about doing data analysis and how to improve in what we're doing with the classwork. So a lot of my time has been spent doing managing people as my second subject. So we've sort of been, I have been giving more time allocated to it than I have with data analysis. And I'm noticing that I'm probably not getting as much benefit from data analysis as I should be. But in saying that, I've also picked up some hints and tips from other people and learnt from doing the last 3 weeks what that can involve. So I've got up here on a whiteboard that just happens to be in a room here, Syndicate M7 I'm in. The room is Syndicate M7. I've got some hints and tips. So the first one is create or join a study group. This, I cannot tell you, is pretty valuable, whether it's data analysis or any other class or subject that you're doing here at for the MBA, is to create or join a study group. It just adds so much value. The student cohort that you're working, doing the MBA with, has so much knowledge and experience that they can bring to these study groups, and you can help each other out. This is the great benefit of with doing the MBA with your other students. This is where you get the network of knowledge coming to play, and you can draw upon. So it's just invaluable. So create or join a study group. We've got a couple of people in our study group that really come through, and I'll put it out there. The first interview video I'd done was with Will Henderson, and they say that the best way to learn is the ultimate way. The best way to learn is by teaching, and he's showing us in the study group how to approach doing this data analysis. So if you need a reminder of or want to remember who Will Henderson is, his background is in maths, got a degree in maths as well as aeronautical engineering. So he's a smart guy. That's why I'm saying create or join a study group and leverage the network of the fellow student cohort that you're doing the MBA with. First one. If not for data analysis, then for every other subject that you're doing. Yes, so that's the first hint or tip. The second is do your class prep. For here at Melbourne Business School, for data analysis, it's actually worth marks. So you do it because you need to demonstrate that you're preparing for the classwork in the lead up to it. So, and you're actually assessed on that. So you have to show that you've demonstrated that you've made an attempt at the work prior to going to the class. So, which leads on to the third tip, which is read the slides and cases before the class. So the purpose of this is that the slides, depending on the facilitator lecturer that's delivering it, can vary. There's sometimes a lot of information in there that, because you're doing it for the classwork, you're still learning it. But sometimes it's being on the front foot to read those slides firsthand before you go in. The reason why I'm saying reading, the other thing to say is to read is the cases, is because you can spend a lot of time. We can spend anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes reading through a case, and we actually lose that time as part of the class if you don't read it before the actual the class. So, and you're trying to read through a case, and if you don't have the full information and understanding before you start doing it in class, then you can miss out on vital parts of what you're trying to learn. So read your cases before you go to the class. Fourth one is do the help session tutorial assisted classes the weekend after you do the class work, the class that you just done on the subject matter. So what happens here is you go to week 1, then you have a weekend that's free, then you do week 2, the class, and then in that week 2 class, you do the next weekend, you do the week 1 help session, tutorial assisted help session. And I couldn't work out, that seemed like, why wait 1.5 weeks to do that? And one is for those that might be away for that time, and it helps them to catch up, because obviously, again, work comes into play for a lot of people, so they can use the help session to do a debrief, a catch up on the work if they've missed that class. That's one of the reasons. But the benefit you have of doing the help session tutorial work the week after the class is it actually has examples or questions, practical questions for you to work through. So you do the class the weekend after, do the class, the tutorial assisted help session class work, the questions beforehand. So I've just done week 3. This weekend I need to be doing the help session, the tutorial assisted help session work this weekend, not next weekend. I've made the mistake that I started doing the questions in the help session, which we had our week 2 in this, because we're in week 3, so it's the week 2 help sessions today, and I've suddenly realised that we actually needed to be what I'd done in class today. I should have actually done last weekend, and done it then, because the reason is what I should be doing in the class today is not doing the question, but this is hint and tip 5, which is go to the tutorial assisted with the questions after attempting the questions for the tutorial assisted help session. So I've done, so for example, I have done, this is week 3, I've done the class on Thursday night. This weekend, I need to do the help session, the tutorial assisted help session questions. I need to do them this weekend because I've learnt it on Thursday night, or done in the class, the lecture on Thursday night. So I need to do those questions for the help session this weekend. In doing that, I'm going to have some questions. I need to write down those questions this weekend. So when I go to next weekend, the week 3 tutorial assisted help session, I'll have those questions based upon where I've attempted the questions, and I can then ask those questions straight up, first of all, and to the tutor, the assistant tutor that's doing that, who is actually a PhD. They're doing a PhD candidate. They're doing their PhD. So we're not just getting anyone here to assist us with those help sessions. They're a PhD candidate. They're doing their PhD in around data analysis. So then they know their stuff, and she's a great help too. So I'll do those. Next weekend I'll go to class for the class 3 questions. Attempted. Any questions I have around trying to attempt that, I will ask in class first up. After I do that, what I ideally should be doing in that 1.5 hours, after asking my questions and working out where I went wrong and understanding the questions and sorting that out so I understand it, is then use the rest of that time to do the next doing the week 4 help session tutorial assisted questions, so that I start getting those done, and that just flows on. So that is the data analysis hints and tips I have here in this week, at the end of week 3. So I'm passing those on now. So first one, create or join a study group. It's critical. Use your student, leverage your student cohort. They have knowledge and experience you may not have in these subjects, irrespective of what subject that is. So leverage it, utilize it. Second, do the class prep work, because it's worth marks, and it sets you up for when you go into the classroom. So you know what's being taught, talked about, and you've made attempts to try and work out, and you've got questions to go with as well. Then you read your slides and your cases before the actual class that you're going into. Then do the number 4 is do the help session tutorial assisted class on the weekend after you do that class. Do the questions, and then go to the class after to the tutorial assisted class help session with your questions after attempting those questions, and then complete those questions, the questions for the next week after that. Okay, guys, they're my hints and tips for data analysis. This is Damien Foley. You can follow me on YouTube at Damien Foley. You can follow me on my website at www.damienfoley.com/MBA. There's also Facebook at Damien Foley Official, and LinkedIn is Instagram is DG Foley, and LinkedIn is Damien Foley 1. Okay, guys, I hope that's been a great help to you in for data analysis hints and tips. Okay, bye.